Hello everyone, thank you for joining again. My name is Taylor and today I'm going to show you how to use conditional statements in Python. So first let's go ahead and save this file. And now let's go ahead and give this a name. We will name it if.py. Okay, so now that we have this file, let's go ahead and create our main function. Let's say if underscore underscore name underscore underscore double equals open quotations underscore underscore main underscore underscore and add a colon at the end. If you've been following my tutorials, you've seen this if condition here. So what this is saying is if the global variable of name is equal to the global variable of name, then run a program. So these two are built into Python, and this is always true, so it will run our program. Let's go ahead and add a new if statement. Say we wanted an input from the user and wanted to compare it with another input with the user and see if the two inputs were true. We can do that with creating a variable for the input. We'll name this input1 is equal to input, open and close parentheses, open and close quotations. And inside those quotations, let's go ahead and say enter first letter. And let's cast this into a string. And then we'll create another input, input2, str input open and close parentheses and quotations, enter second letter. Let's add an if statement. Python uses two different types of standards. I like to use the traditional standard, which is with open and close parentheses. So if open and close parentheses input1 double equals input2, then we want to do something, so let's add a colon at the end and hit enter. So what this is saying is if input 1 has the same value as input 2, then run this piece of code below. The other way we can write this is if input 1 double equals input 2. In Python, you don't need these parentheses, but I like to use them because whenever you're switching from different programming languages, the convention is usually open and close parentheses with if statements. Now let's go back to our if statement here and say print open and close parentheses, open and close quotations. It's a match. And now if we run this program, and let's save this, and let's run this program. We run it by typing python space if.py because if is our file name. Let's hit enter. Enter first letter. I'll say A. And then enter second letter. I'll say A again. And as you can see, it says it is a match. So let's do that again, but with different letters, A and B. See how nothing happened? We can add a logic so that way something does happen if these conditions are not met. So let's go ahead and add a space after the first letter and second letter, so that way we know where our input is here. Let's go ahead and add an else statement here. So we can say else. An else is our default, so if this condition is not true, then it'll default to our else statement. Let's say print, open and close parentheses, open and close quotations, and let's say it's not a match. So let's save this and rerun the program. So let's say python if.py, and we will enter the letter L and the letter K. As you can see, L does not equal to K, so therefore it is not a match. But if we reran this program and said L and L, it says it is a match because L does equal L. There are other options we can place here, which is not equal to. The way you specify that is an exclamation point and an equal sign. There's also in. What this means is here's a letter that we send to input 2 and compare if there is that letter inside of input 2. For example, if we had a word hello, and if we wanted to see if E was in there, we would send E here on input 1, and hello would be input 2. And that statement is true, so therefore the statement would proceed in our if statement. There's also a greater than or a less than. You could also combine the two, greater than or equal to, or less than or equal to. But we could go ahead and keep it as double equals. So that's just the basics on how if statements work. They're useful, but it could get convoluted if you have a lot of conditions that need to be met. For that aspect, I recommend you use polymorphism in object-oriented programming, and I can cover that in a future video. Thank you all for joining, and I hope to see you next time.